Hi everyone, welcome to Officially Empowered. I am Lady Bree, and if this is your very first time here, welcome to my channel. I truly hope that you like what you see and what you hear, and I hope by the end of the video you go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get notified whenever I post new content. And for everyone that is returning, all of the family, let me just say welcome back to the channel. I truly appreciate you guys so much. So today's video is going to be dedicated to my graduate school experience. I'm going to be giving you guys some pros, some cons, as well as some advice that I wish I would have got before I started the program. As of today, I am completely done with grad school. The only thing that I am waiting for is just to walk across that stage. So I am super excited. And while this is fresh on my mind, I wanted to go ahead and get this video out to you guys. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so to start off, I want to give you guys a little background information about me. So I graduated in 2013 with my bachelor's in social work, and this is so embarrassing to say, but I'm going to be completely honest. I did not use that degree whatsoever. Like, that is so horrible to say, but I'm being completely honest. I was actually working in many other different type of fields. Now, in my heart of hearts, I have always wanted to be a teacher. Like, for as long as I can remember, teaching was a part of me. However, I ran from it for quite some time. And I mean, I was running, okay? Like, I did not want to be inside the classroom. I was very intimidated by that. However, after getting married about late 2015, early 2016, I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of running. I want to be within my career. I want to be in the education field. I want to be inside of these classrooms, impacting students in a major way. So I decided to apply for an alternate certification program, and I got certified to teach ELA grades 4 through 8. And for the last 5 years, I have been teaching ELA grade 7. And honestly, it has been great. It has been wonderful, and I have been learning so much. Now, in the education world, we always hear the terms being a lifelong learner and building your capacity. As the years continue to go by, I'm learning that in order to truly impact the lives of these students inside and outside the classrooms, I got to continue to build my capacity. I got to continue to learn and grow more and more. So I decided to go back to school to get my master's degree. And so I was having a conversation with my principal, and I said, you know what? I want to go back to school to get my master's degree. And she said, okay, well, what do you want to get your master's in? I said, well, I think I want to get my master's in teacher leadership. And she said, okay, well, what do you want to do with that? I said, well, I want to lead teachers. And she said, okay, you do realize that that's what you're already doing on campus. Like, you are a teacher leader. You're already doing that. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that's true. And so after having that conversation with her, having a conversation with my husband, and just praying to God for him to lead me in the direction that he wants me to go, I finally decided to apply for the Lamar graduate program to receive my master's in educational administration. And so here we are in 2020. I will be graduating December 12th with my master's in educational administration. So I shared that just to let you guys know it has not been smooth sailing since I've graduated from high school up until now. There were some bumps in the road. There were some times I was confused. I didn't know what to do. However, finally, once I sat down, I've talked with my husband, I talked with my support system, I prayed to God, I finally decided on which direction I needed to go. So let's go ahead and knock the cons out the way first. So we'll go ahead and start with the cons and then make our way to the pros as well as some advice. Now, I do want to go ahead and start off by saying I am not the spokesperson for grad school. This is just my experiences and what I've encountered throughout my journey. So the first con that I want to mention is that your time is going to be so limited, okay? So as you guys already knew, I was a full-time teacher. I was a full-time wife and a full-time mom. And with that being said, that plate on its own is already heavy, okay? It is hefty already. And then when you add grad school to the mix, man, When I tell you guys, there were so many days, so many weeks where I felt like such a bad mom. I felt like such a bad wife because I felt like I was neglecting time with them because I'm trying to turn in these assignments, right? I'm trying to get everything turned in by the due date that I feel like I missed out on some quality time with my family. So when you're going into grad school, depending on how long your program is, I do want you to understand realistically your time is going to be limited. Now, my program was 15 months. I started August of 2019 and my classes were 5 weeks each. So every single 5 weeks, I had a new class. And then after that 5 weeks, I had 1 week off and boom, we picked up the next one. Now guys, 5 weeks is not a lot of time. We had so much information crammed into those 5 weeks. So my head was spinning sometimes because there was always, of course, something due, a paper to write, discussion to do. There was always so many different things to do. So I want you guys to understand that a con of grad school, but it is also a realization, is that your time will be limited. There was sometimes I wanted to just really go out and have family day, but I also knew that I had this 20-page paper to write. And so if I have to talk about a con first, I do want you guys to understand that your time will be limited. You may not have that same time to go out and hang with your friends or go out and do this because you do have so many different things on your plate. So I just want to be honest with you guys and let you know that depending on how long your program is, how aggressive your program is, your time will be limited. So the second con that I'm going to mention actually ties into the very first one, and that is grad school is a very fast-paced environment. Now, mind you guys, I graduated with my bachelor's in 2013. So this is a 6-year gap that I actually went back to school. So I wasn't used to turning in homework, having this due. And so it was very, very fast-paced. Not to mention that this was an actual online program. So I felt like there was always something to do. There was always something to read, always something to write, always something to reply back to. It was so fast-paced because they're trying to get all this information into these 5 weeks. Mind you, my program again was 5 weeks, a total of 15 months, but 5 weeks. So I felt like it was always information coming here, coming there. There's always a webinar for us to listen to. It's very, very fast paced. It's very little downtime when you have graduate school. Now, I'm not trying to intimidate you by any means. I just want you to understand that when you're planning and when you're preparing for this, understand that it's going to be fast paced. Some people said that undergrad was fast paced. If that was the case, this is on steroids. This is even faster than what your undergrad was because it's always so much information that they're trying to cram into a little amount of time. So I definitely want you guys to be prepared for that, especially if you've been out of school for a couple of years and now you're trying to go back to it. This is going to be a different ball game. And before you guys get overwhelmed, I want you to understand that it is fast paced. So begin to kind of plan and prepare for that because I guarantee you it's going to be a lot of information coming at you at one big old time. So moving over to the pros, one pro that I definitely have to mention for graduate school is that you're now going to be able to focus on this one content area. I can't tell you throughout undergrad how many times I was like, why am I taking this class? This class does nothing for me. However, for grad school, you're kind of focusing on this one area. Now, for me, I was in, of course, educational administration. And before graduate school, my lens was only as a teacher. I only saw things as teachers saw them. But because of this program, I was able to kind of look through the lens of a principal. I was able to look through the lens as an administrator. And it truly helped to just build my capacity and build my knowledge surrounding education as well as administration. So that is definitely a pro. You're going to be able to really learn so much more about your specific content area, your specific thing that you are studying. So that is definitely a pro. You're going to be able to gain so much knowledge and so much wisdom about this one particular thing versus taking all these unnecessary classes that have absolutely nothing to do with what you're in school for. So I'm definitely going to have to state that as a pro. The second pro that I learned throughout my grad school journey was that it will truly challenge you and push you outside your comfort zone. And yes, I'm going to consider that a pro because you want to make sure that you are constantly growing and learning every single day. You don't want to stay stagnant. You don't want to stay complacent. You want to make sure that you are growing literally every single day. And there were many classes, many weeks where I was definitely challenged and definitely pushed outside of my comfort zone. But now I'm appreciative because it did nothing but just build me up and help me to gain more knowledge as well as see multiple perspectives. And for me, with the hopes of one day owning my own school or opening up my own school, being a principal on another campus, I gotta be able to see multiple perspectives. I can't be stuck in my own ways and only see things on how I want to see it. I gotta be open-minded, and I gotta be able to look at the different things that other people are saying. And that's exactly what this program taught me. Was it always comfortable? No. Was it always easy? No. It challenged me and it pushed me outside of my comfort zone. But again, that's a pro, because it's building me up. It's continuing to allow me to grow and learn every single day. And so the next statement I'm going to make is actually like a pro and a con at the same time. And the reason why I say that is because when you go throughout the process of graduate school and you earn your master's degree, it is a possibility that a lot more doors of opportunities will be open unto you. And the reason why I say that is because there are some employers who are not even looking at bachelor degrees anymore. They want you to have a master's degree and up. So you're going throughout this process. This would definitely help to kind of get your foot inside the door. I even know for me, the position I want to go into next, they're requiring me to have a master's degree. So me finishing this program, earning my degree, is definitely going to help to possibly get me into that position. However, on the other hand, I also say it's a con. And the reason why I say it's a con, because there are some employers out there who want you to kind of have the experience, right? So while we're in school getting the education, there are people out there working and networking, getting the experience. And there may be a possibility that the employer wants the person with experience versus the people with the education. So that's why I say that it's a con, right? So it is a possibility that you can get a lot more doors of opportunity open to you. However, it's not a 100% guarantee. And so that's why I'm considering this to be a pro and a con. So as you are planning and preparing for grad school, I want you to think about all these different pros that I mentioned, as well as the different cons. Again, I am not an expert. These are just some of the things that I've learned and witnessed and encountered throughout my journey of grad school. So for anyone that's thinking about applying to grad school, I just want to go ahead and leave you guys with some advice. The very first thing that I would say is do not allow anyone to talk you out of going to grad school or telling you that it's too late for you to go to grad school. As you guys heard me mention, I finished college with my bachelor's in 2013. I didn't start my master's program until 2019. That's a 6-year gap. In the midst of that 6 years, I got married, I had a baby, and I started my career in education. There was a lot going on. However, if I would have continued to listen to negative people tell me that it's too late, why are you trying to go back to school now? You have a whole family. I would have never started, let alone finished the program. Now, I mentioned earlier that it's super, super fast paced. And I kind of let that intimidate me that it was fast paced, but it kind of worked out for me as well because it was so fast paced. I started at 29. I'm already done, y'all, and I'm 30 and I'm already done. So do not allow anyone to tell you that it's too late for you to go back. If God has given you the green light, sis, bro, go, okay? If God has given you the green light, do not let anyone try to deter you from what God wants you to do. So that's my first piece of advice. It is never too late for you guys to go ahead and go back and get more education under your belt. The second piece of advice I want to give you guys if you're thinking about applying for grad school is begin the planning and preparing now. And what I mean by planning and preparing is that if you're thinking about going to grad school, think about organization now. Thinking about how to balance now. Think about how to prioritize your time now, because once grad school starts, again, it's going to be super fast paced and it's going to be going quickly. And you do not want to get overwhelmed in your very first class. So begin that planning and preparation now. For me, when I first went into grad school, my mindset was, oh, I'm going to do all of my work on Wednesday. So I'll have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then I'll be able to enjoy my weekend. That was my thought process. However, once you actually get in that mode, it could be very different for you. For me personally, with my teaching schedule, with my family, I could not do work throughout the week because I was so tired from teaching throughout the week. And so I had to do my work on the weekend. And I know you're saying, Bree, no, I want my weekends. But you know what? You're going to have to do what's best for you. And what worked out for me, was working throughout the week, spending time with my family in the evenings, and then knocking out their homework on the weekends. For me, that really helped me to kind of give myself some type of balance and some type of organization. Because honestly, again, as a teacher, especially virtually teaching too, throughout COVID-19, it's a lot of work. And me personally, I could not handle doing work throughout the week. I had to go ahead and do it on the weekend. So do what's best for you. Look at your syllabus and figure out what's going to be best for you and how you're going to go ahead and get your work done. So again, my advice for you, begin balancing now. Begin organizing yourself now and begin prioritizing your life right now. The third piece of advice that I would go ahead and give you guys is to surround yourself around positive and supportive people. I have talked to so many people throughout graduate programs who said throughout the process that they lost friends, and sometimes they even lost connections with family. It is super important because it is such a stressful time and it can get overwhelming. It is important to surround yourself around supportive and positive people. My friends knew what my goals were and they knew what I was trying to do. So when I didn't text them, when I didn't call them all the time, they understood because I expressed to them what I was trying to do. I would text my friends, maybe I haven't talked to them all week long, but if I text them and say, hey y'all, please just send up a prayer for me. You know what they did? They prayed for me. They didn't say, oh, we're not talking to you anymore because you don't have time for us. They didn't do that. They prayed for me, they encouraged me, and they motivated me. That is what kind of kept me going throughout the program. So surround yourself around people who understand your vision. Surround yourself around people who understand what you're trying to do and what goals that you have. A key person in my whole graduate school process was my husband. If it was not for him, guys, I don't even think I would have made it through the program. I literally always say he needs to be walking across the stage with me on December the 12th because he understood, he was supportive, he was my prayer partner, he knew exactly what I was trying to do, and he did his best to make sure that I was going to succeed regardless of anything else. So surround yourself around people that understand what you're going through, who understand that you cannot talk on the phone all day long. You may miss a few days texting and calling them. However, you know that the friendship is still there, the relationship is still there. You're just trying to get something done right now. So that is very, very key because I'm letting you know now, you're going to need support, guys. You really, really are. The program of graduate school can be very intense, it can be very crucial, and it can be overwhelming. But if you have that support of your family and friends, I guarantee you can literally get through anything. My fourth and final piece of advice, if you're thinking about applying for grad school, is to look at the different tuition costs. That was a big factor for me in which university that I chose. I knew that for me and my household, we did not want to go into debt just because I wanted to get another degree. We did not want to take out any loans. We already have a mortgage. We don't need any more loans other than that. So a big factor for me was the tuition costs. So I chose a program that I felt like my husband and I, we could afford. Was it easy? No. I knew that I had to sacrifice. We had to sacrifice as a family. Again, it was not easy. However, it was worth it. There were days where I wanted to go out to eat. I wanted to go shopping. I wanted to go buy stuff for the house. However, I knew that every single 5 weeks I had to pay tuition. So if you're in those shoes and you could possibly pay for your own tuition, I would go ahead and say you should go ahead and do that. That way you don't want to have any debt coming out of grad school. You won't have any loans that you owe somebody else. It will be a sacrifice. However, at the end of the day, it's going to be all worth it. So again, look at those different tuition costs. Do your research before applying to these different schools. If you possibly can afford it on your own, I would suggest that you go ahead and do that. So I really hope that you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hopefully the pros, the cons, the tips, the advice, they helped you in some way, especially if you're thinking about applying for grad school. If you have not done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I post new content. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Do you have any graduate school advice? Are you thinking about applying to grad school? Go ahead and let me know right down below. As always, guys, I appreciate you more than you will ever know, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video. Y'all be blessed. Bye-bye.